welcome to the Yarn and Yarns YouTube channel. My name is Angela and we are here for day 4 of my 12 cast-ons of Christmas video. I am going to start a crochet project today. I have been a little bit slack and I haven't done much crochet or much spinning recently, so I want to kind of start the new year as I hope to carry on with a little bit more of both of those crafts. So today I am going to start a project that's been on my list to do for quite a number of years now, I think. I am going to work up a project from this lovely book, which is Edward's Menagerie by Kerry Lord, and I've had this book in my collection for ages. I've only made one project from this previously, and I made a Caitlin the Giraffe for my sister when she was pregnant with my youngest nephew. He's now coming up for 3, so that tells you how long this book has been in my stash. This yarn from Toft has probably also been in my stash for about that same sort of time, and I've always meant to work up a Blake the orangutan. So here is Blake, and I love orangutans. I think they are the cutest. I think Blake's going to be a bit of a pain to work up because of his fur, so let me just show you him again. So every round you have to work sort of some loopy stitches which you then cut into to create his shaggy look, but hopefully it will be worth the effort. And I have this skein of Toft in my stash that I bought with the idea of making Blake ages ago. He's not exactly the right colour that I'd like for an orangutan, but I think this was the only thing I could get from the Toft stand, and I fancied making one of the creatures from the Toft yarn. I toyed with the idea, because this isn't exactly the colour that I would choose, of doing another one of the lovely animals in this book instead, but I figured I would just stick with it because this is what I bought the yarn for. As I say, this has probably been in my stash for at least 4 years, so it will be nice to use it. This yarn is 100% wool, 225 metres for 100 grams. It's probably a little bit extravagant for making a toy, so that's another reason that I want to stick with the plan, because I always had this in mind for Blake. I'm not sure how much I'm going to get done today. We have a tentative plan to head out to catch a movie today, but James didn't sleep very well last night, so we may shift that till tomorrow. But I thought I'd start a smaller project today, just in case. So yeah, I shall be back shortly, no doubt, to let you know how much progress I've made. So I shall catch you in a moment. I'm back to report on my progress for yesterday's cast on, which was the lovely Blake pattern. He is the cute orangutan from the Edward's Menagerie book. So I've made reasonable progress. I didn't actually get started until 5 o'clock yesterday evening. We went to the movies to watch Into the Spider-Verse, which was a really good film. Thank you for the recommendation, Kim, if you're out there listening. Kim is Blue Cherub, and she has a lovely video channel here on YouTube, talking about all of her lovely adventures in crochet. So hopefully you'll enjoy this crochet project. I'm actually have some crochet to talk about for a change. It's been a while. Anyway, back to the point. Started at 5 o'clock yesterday, and I have managed to crochet up the body, the head, and 2 weeny wee little ears for Blake. So let me just show you his picture again, just to remind you what he looks like. I'll just take my post-it off there. So this is what we are aiming for. So I have got his arms and his legs and the face details to go. So not bad for a few hours work. When we got home, we actually sat and watched the last of the Lord of the Rings films. We've been rewatching those over the last few days. So we had a good 3-hour session sat in front of the TV watching that. So yeah, here is Blake so far. Obviously he looks a bit strange, he's got no face details. The one thing that I will say about this pattern, and it was actually noted on a couple of the project pages, is that some of this is called, they call this fur stitch. Basically you're crocheting along and you're making loops, and then at the end you trim down the loops to give all this sort of like scragginess, which is really effective. But I think the loops, as much of a pain in the bum as they were, could have been done a little bit more frequently. There are quite a few sort of large gaps, and I had a look on the project pages on Ravelry, and a lot of people have noted that that's a particular problem on the arms and the legs. So I might have to do a bit of jigging when I get to those, if I remember, to try and get a decent coverage on those parts to make it, I mean, it looks absolutely fine, but I just wish the fur was a bit more dense in places. The head has turned out a little bit better. These are smaller rows, so the loop stitches sort of give a little bit better coverage on that, because they're sort of all overlapping, I think. But yeah, I'm happy with how he is turning out. I need to find some yarn in my stash, and I'm sure I've got some. So I need a few patches of a lighter colour for face details. So before I put this project away for a few days, I am going to hunt out some yarn to use for the face, and I might try and do that now and come back and tell you what I've chosen before I finish this video. I found something in my stash that I think will work. This is a yarn that's been in my stash for many years. I purchased this when I first got back into knitting, so it's probably been in my stash at least 10 years. I made a hat out of this yarn, and it's Sirdar Eco Wool, which they don't make anymore. It just says 100% virgin wool, and they had a few different colourways in this, in different sort of natural shades. So this is kind of a grey brown colour, but I think it will go quite nicely as a contrast with the fudge colour from Toft. I don't think I mentioned the colour name of this lovely yarn yesterday. This is 100% wool from Toft, and as I say, it's in the fudge colour, which is a lovely brown. I picked out some cream to start with, but I thought that was too big a contrast, but I quite like, there's enough contrast between those two without it being too stark, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna use that one for the details for the rest of Blake. Now it occurred to me that I hadn't told you Blake's story, so I'm just going to read. All of the creatures in Edward's Menagerie come with a little bit of a bio, which is fun. So, Blake is a self-employed tree surgeon. He has set his pace of life to guarantee that he has plenty of time to smell the roses and steam mop his slate bathroom floors. This orangutan is a domesticated ape. He cleans, he bakes, and he spends 3 days a week changing nappies and making puree for his 1-year-old twin daughters. Some say he is something of a modern philosopher, pulling insight and truth from his hairy navel as casually as others blow their noses. So when he's not swinging from the treetops or wearing his apron, he's keeping a journal that would be well worth a read. So I think now I've told you all about Blake and shown you my progress, I will end this video for today, and I'm off to choose which project I am going to cast on today, which is always a really exciting part of the day. So I'll see you again soon. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.